Hello YouTube friends, I just thought I'd bring you out into nature today and just show you. Just across there you might be able to see where that tree line is. Just along there there's a road. It's like a B road, and this is a nature reserve, and I am so blessed to have such a vast amount of open space, literally minutes from my home. Now, the council, our local council, take care of all of this every now and again. They do leave it to wildlife a lot, so they're very conscious of conserving wildlife and helping it. They have a wildlife project, I believe, on the go, and so I'm just going to go and find a nice little spot, hopefully behind there, maybe, where I can do some meditation work with you. But this is only literally a corner, a smidgen of, look at the beautiful buttercups. Of the amount of land that is nature reserve, and I've also got a park that this leads into, where I filmed the ducks the other day. But this is just such a beautiful place, and a lot of people do come over here with their dogs and stuff, and you wouldn't believe, I won't make you too sick, you wouldn't believe that on this side, around the back of those trees, there actually is an industrial estate. But there's some ancient oaks in here. This land, especially over that side where all those trees are over there, used to be all woodland when I was a little girl. But development got the better. I'm going to try and keep this fairly still while I'm walking, or not. I don't know whether I'm going to give you seasickness while we go, but we'll have a nice slow meander through the vegetation. Even just coming out into nature can just, a little walk like this can make you feel so much better. They say that Mother Earth is the healer and the bird of the mirth. Is it the mirth of the bird, whatever that saying is? I know there's a poem that goes with it, that it is very, very healing to be out in Mother Nature. And I can't tell you what everything is, because this is a mass of berries in the summer, so not all of it is edible though. There is loads and loads of edibles, because I come over here and forage quite a lot in late autumn. And in the summer we have apple trees over in the park, we have damsons, wild damsons, plenty of nettles. We do have sloes and crab apples, and they're not called damsons. What do we call them? Ramsons, I think they're called. But they are really, really yummy, and there's plenty of them. And I'm not on my own with that one. Loads of people pick them, so you do have to come out at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Everybody has them, but that's good, because I do put all the pips back to the land and hope that they grow some more. And I used to get my willow from over the park here, but last year, I think it was, I decided to give back to Mother Earth from what she'd given to me, and I took 3 willow stems, and I was making dream catchers at the time with the willow, and I planted them at the back of where I live, and now I've got 3 beautiful willow plants growing. Beautiful, they are really beautiful. So hopefully I won't have to come and cut from down here. I've got my own stash. Just look at the beautiful, and I love these, and there's lots of fox runs over here. Look at this, how beautiful is that for nature? That is just so cool. We also have over, a little bit further over, I don't know whether we're going to see them today. We might do actually, because it's a little bit cloudy though. We have buzzards, and not far from where I live actually we've now got another set of peregrine falcons nesting on top of one of the BT towers local to us. Well, actually it's on the top of a shop building. And here's some beautiful red clover. Let's just get you over here. And I do come and get this when I'm low on clover. This is where I get it from. Look at all of that. Isn't that just so beautiful? I also get my plantain from over here because I know they don't use pesticides, herbicides or any chemical sprays over here. They very much leave it to nature to take care of itself. I mean, I did think for my next eco printing I might try some of the greenery from over here. This like goes down in a little bit of a valley this side, but over the top of the valley there is the pathway that you can walk along should you wish. But look, they leave all the scrubland, they leave a lot to, they do leave a lot to nature and wildlife. I'm hoping that's refocused, and as much as I don't like councils per se, I do have to say this one has got fairly good they do have, I'm just going to finish that sentence, they have a fairly good wildlife project and horticultural team, if that's what you want to call them. I wasn't happy when they chopped all the trees down last year, was it the year before? I was really not happy when they said that part of it was woodland regeneration, but it ripped my heart out that they were literally pulling the trees out with a JCB digger. It was, as that video cut off, I'll show you again because I think this only times for 8 minutes, gives me an 8-minute shot. But isn't that so beautiful? I'll hold her still. Look at all the tiny, I don't know what plant this is actually. Sorry, I lost focus there. It doesn't look like hemlock, but also that leaf, you can get down close enough to the leaf. So if anybody can tell me what this plant is with that leaf. The leaf has got, let me just come out a bit. So that's one leaf with sort of leaves coming off of it. But if anybody can tell me what, I don't know whether it's cowslip, I don't know whether it's, I don't know what it is actually. I'm not very good with this, or lace, whatever it's called, or whether it is actually a griminy. But I'm not sure, so I tend not to go there. But it's a beautiful, beautiful plant. So, I have found out what they're doing, but I will tell you later. And yes, they're aerating the pond, and I will tell you the reason later. But impressive work that has cost hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds because of somebody's ignorance. Okay, so we've come along a little bit of the pathway at the side of where this watercourse is that has damaged the main pond, and the story from the man that was doing the work, or at least observing the work, is that yeah, somebody in our local area has contaminated the water, and it must be quite strong pollutant they've used in there, maybe toilet, maybe grey water, I don't know, or straight into the drain, that has now come into this river or little brook and gone into the pond and killed a lot of the fish. So they're pumping the pond, and they've been here for 10 days now and pumped the pond 10 days and 10 nights to clear it, to oxygenate it, to give life back to the water. What amazed me from the story that the guy was saying, I'm just going to walk up here so you can see how beautiful it is here, is that they've been tracking it with rods, and they know exactly the storm drain, which is quite scary when he told me. It wasn't my storm drain, by the way. Told me which storm drain, they can track it to which storm drain, which is amazing, I think. So I am pretty impressed by the company, well, Severn Trent in our case, as you know, that have got onto this real quick and solved the problem, and it's cost them hundreds of thousands of pounds just because of somebody's ignorance. But the good news is that they're probably going to find them, as in location-wise, the storm drain, and then they will actually apparently be able to trace which particular house it's come from. So hopefully they're going to send them a very big bill. So walking up this pathway was put in, we used to play around here and in that brook down there, and this pathway was put in. On the right of me there are some, behind those steel fences there is a end part of the industrial estate, but there's some beautiful willow here, beautiful, and it's filled with large amounts of fruit for the summer. Unfortunately there is a huge pylon, but that's been there forever. So this is one side of the little walkway, and this goes for about 3.5 miles the other way as well. No, probably about 1.5 miles. But it's just so beautiful. I'm going to try and find an opening in all the vegetation to go down to the stream and do some videoing. Hope, because it's all overgrown now, I don't think I'm going to get down to where I normally would go and sit. And I did just see a woodpecker up here. See, normally there's a track that goes down the side of here, but because all the vegetation, the council leave it so that people can't actually get down to the river and ruin it all. But look how beautiful it is. I mean, just look how amazing it is. And some of this is very ancient. It's been here a long, long time. So come on, let's walk. Ah, that's where I'd normally go down, that one of those. And again, the council have probably pulled that across just to stop people going down to the water's edge. Look at some of these amazing trees. Look at the shape of that, isn't she beautiful? And so just around the corner there is, we will come up onto the main, it isn't a main road, it's another B road, but not even a B road, it's actually just an estate. A road that goes into the estate. Look how beautiful and wild that is down there, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I'm sorry, too fast. I made you feel a bit sick then. I love these. I don't know what these flowers are, but they are so pretty. Actually, I have to say the willow has come up real good in here this year. And this does look more overgrown than normal. Normally it's not this wild. So again, they're just a beautiful walk. And it goes round the corner and up onto the estate. Okay, so now I'm going to take you up another, we're going to go back down this pathway and I'm going to go up over the top of the park. I'm going to see if I can find a quiet area up there, although people do walk their dogs up there. But I'm hoping that we can find a nice quiet spot just to do some videoing. I might try this bit down here actually. I think we'll go up top because people don't always know the top bit's there. I could go into that bit of woodland and do, but again that's too close to the industrial estate, I think. So I'm going to come back to you once I've found my little spot. Okay, so we've just come off the main path and if you wind up behind the trees there's some steps that have been put in and we go up the embankment per se from down there, which is where we were, and we're coming up the embankment and we're going to go across the top. But it was all this area, partly this area last year, that they ripped loads of trees out of. Most of the trees up here are beech, there are some oak. Hazel. And down there, I don't know whether you can see it through the trees, is the pathway. It runs along there, you can still hear, you can just about hear that man from pumping the water. You can't hear the man, but you can hear the generator. So up here is a nice little place where, oh, you can see the, and again you can see better down there now. There's the pathway, because they cleared so many trees from up here, which I wasn't happy about. Did I tell you that I wasn't happy? I wasn't. It made me cry a lot. I felt like I was having my heart ripped out. But in hindsight, they haven't done a bad thing, and I get it. I get that nature has to sometimes be looked after, managed. Sometimes it's just so brutal when you have to watch it. And again, the council haven't been over here, because normally they would come over and sort of trim this lot back, but they haven't. So again, they're doing their version of a nature, wildlife kind of nature thing by letting it get overgrown, allowing more. It's not a bad thing. A more permaculture kind of way. Oh, look at all of these little beautiful little, they're not dandelions, they're too tall for dandelions. Maybe they're a version of dandelion, I don't know. Oh, it smells beautiful. Wish you could smell it. Wish I'd got smell-o-vision. Look at this lot. Now this is where I used to get my hawthorn from. However, the birds have done me a favour this year and planted one right next door to where I planted the willow. So I now have my very own version of hawthorn right next to my front of my property. Well, not my property, but the front of the building. Okay, now the bad news is I haven't bought my seat with my chair. The good news is I have bought a little cushion that I could sit my butt down on the ground and snuggle away in here somewhere and hope that we don't get any interruptions.